Is Rudy selling a fake signature on a beta Black Lotus? Let's take a look. I would say maybe a week or two ago, I noticed somebody making the rounds on Twitter, basically adding every single MTG YouTuber, saying that they had had a bad experience with Rudy. I know Rudy personally, and so I was interested to get the details. So I asked this person who goes by John Doe, for whatever reason, hey, send me what's going on, right? I want to know what is the situation. Maybe I can help resolve it. I don't know. So in his first email to me, he lets me know who he is and says that he has a long history of interaction with the MTG YouTube community and that he had actually previously bought in 2 of my Modern Masters 2015 booster boxes, which I entirely believe him. And he has sleeves of mine. So this is kind of a difficult video to make, but I had to look at things objectively on both sides. If I was going to investigate the situation with Rudy, then I had to also investigate the source and everything around the source. This is just how it works. So I knew going into this that I was either going to burn a subscriber or burn a friend, and a fellow content creator. But I think of Rudy first as a friend. Anyways, I'm reaching out to you because of a particularly bad experience with Rudy involving a beta Black Lotus with a potentially suspicious but probably fake Christopher Rush signature. I have been working extensively the past 2 days to put all of this information together and figure out what the hell is happening, and it would be a lot easier to talk about this over the phone after you read the conversation. Of course, I don't do phone conversations. I want text records. I can't go back and say, well, you said this, you said that, unless I record that phone call, which isn't always legal. So I said, okay, send me this conversation that you had. I, at this point, have no idea it's about a Black Lotus or about selling anything in general. And he had reached out. I'm going to go back to the original. He had reached out to Rudy and posted Rudy's personal email on Facebook and Imgur and Reddit and places where people don't like Rudy, which is not cool. For somebody who wants anonymity, Mike Bronstein, you didn't afford Rudy that same right. So guess what? I'm not giving you that same right. He said to Rudy that I've been contributing you this year. To say things have been crazy would be an understatement. In any case, I was wondering if you wanted to sell me an MP Black Lotus at Grand Prix Vegas this year and film it. That's this year. This email was sent in April. I felt bad that you never got to publish the video of the crazy money splashing video as you purchased my Ancestral Recall, and figured since I wasn't able to contribute to you this month, that maybe this would be a way to make up for that. I'm looking to spend around $6,000 for it, willing to go higher based on specific pictures or condition. Anyways, just food for thought. Thanks again for everything you do. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch you grow. So Mike appears to be a fan of these YouTube channels. And what you don't know about this guy who has reached out to Rogue Deck Builder, who has reached out to MTG Lion, who clearly made a video without doing the amount of vetting that he needed to do. That's unfortunate. When I'm going to make a video about somebody, I do the research in most cases. That's why when you put videos out about, disgusting people in the Magic the Gathering Judge program, you have to have your ducks in a row. There's a reason none of those videos caused me any problem, and that's because they were all 100% correct. Just like the picture I'm going to paint to you. And stay with me because this is a long, windy road, but an interesting story and a look into what sometimes content creators have to deal with. I don't make a habit of putting people on blast who come after me, but this particular gentleman called my morals, my honor into question in his final emails. So now he's going to get the video that he tried to manipulate me into making, following only the information that he provided. He did not expect me to do my own research. In fact, he was visibly or text, very angry that I reached out and called Rudy and called Daniel Chang to find out exactly what the truth was. He was angry that I didn't use the information that he provided me without researching any further. Rudy writes back, long time no talk. Oh, by the way, this man who's trying to smear Rudy, by the way, was a long-time $100 a month patron of Rudy. Thank you for offering me an awesome deal on the Lotus. I have some concern. Oh, I'm sorry. Thanks for the kind words and support as always. The only Black Lotus I have right now is this signed one. It's the one from the Jonathan Little World Series of Poker guy, which was from VintageMagic.com before that. There is a video of Rudy buying this Lotus already signed amongst a lot of other cards. Okay. Obviously, he did not fake the signature, yet this person seems to be obsessed with that. I paid $6,000 for it. If you want it, I will do the same price since you've supported me a lot in the past. That's good, a fair offer from Rudy. Besides that, I don't have anything else for sale. His reply, thank you for offering me this awesome deal on Lotus. I have some concerns about the signature. It doesn't look like any Chris Rush signatures I've seen in the past, and I wouldn't want to get stuck with something that isn't authentic. Do you have any way for me to determine it is real? You are correct. This is Rudy. Very old signature from 10 to 15 years ago. The C has sharper angles compared to the newers. The rest is all the same. We have a lot of old Rush signatures. There are variants. He varied over the years. This is true. I reached out to Daniel Chang, who is honestly, whether or not you like the guy's videos or whatever, the guy makes his living selling authentic, very expensive old magic product. His entire reputation relies on getting it right. I stand by this card and its authenticity, says Rudy. Too bad his old agent didn't have a better relationship. And I won't go into that, but there is some drama there. And basically, what you have to know about this signature is, let me boil it down for you. It is a little different than his other signatures, but there are many, many examples of Christopher Rush's signature looking different over the years. In fact, most people, when that other guy made his video without doing his own research, most of the comments were like, no, this is real. I have a signature from him. This old, this looks just like the one I have. There's nobody buys that this is a forgery. What most people are saying, authenticators included, is because it's so different than the vast majority that are out there, sometimes people aren't willing to authenticate it. Nobody that I've seen has come out to say the signature is fake. And again, this is why this is such a nothing burger, is because there is literally no incentive to fake signatures on a $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 card. None. There is a market that exists for autographed cards, okay? But they don't pay more for the card because it's autographed, because people like me, regardless if it was an alpha tropical island and I was in the position to buy it, if it had a signature on it, I wouldn't want it. I view cards that have the artist signature on them as damaged. And there are a lot of people who agree with me. I don't I don't judge people who like to have signatures on their cards. I personally would just want that signature on a print or something else. I don't want it on the card. To me, it's damaging the card. If some people like it, and that's okay. But my point is, the signature on the card, there is no financial reason to fake it. In fact, autographed cards sell a lot slower than non-autographed cards because there's a smaller market of people who want to have the autograph on the card. So to summarize, whether or not the signature can be authenticated, okay, is irrelevant because there's no incentive to fake it. Do you understand? This is what I tried to keep telling this guy. I was like, dude, why would he fake a signature on a $6,000-$7,000 card? And by the way, the card at the time he bought it was $1,000 to $2,000, I think, and it already had the signature. So again, why fake a signature on a card at that level? He just wouldn't do it. Nobody would do that. It's insane. There's no financial benefit, which means unless Rudy got drunk, which he doesn't even drink. Well, Rudy was at ultra high altitude for a long period of time, and he thought, boy, I'm going to get a fake signature on this card so I can ensure that it will be more difficult to sell. It doesn't make any sense. Daniel Chang, who owned the card before that, makes his living selling artist prints, authenticated stuff, very expensive stuff. He would not have bought the signature if he thought it was fake, right? There's just you have to use Occam's razor here and say, like, okay, there's no real reason to fake a signature on this card. So why do we care? Why is this guy emailing every single MTG content creator, Kevin and Rogue Deck Builder? He emailed Brian at Tolarian Community College. He emailed Wedge. I know this because I talked to these people, right? He's out there trying to get all of us to make some weird video about Rudy when there's literally no reason that this video should be made. It's insanity. And the fact that he ends up getting mad at me for just picking up the phone and calling Rudy, that's what you do. That's part of the research. Rudy stands by this signature. He stands by it to me over the phone. He gave me a lot of insider information on why the signature might appear a little bit differently. But again, it doesn't matter. There's no reason to fake the signature, right? Thank you for explaining the signature of the signature, says this guy. I also understand that he varied a lot. So here he admits, right? Here he admits he knows that there are variants to the Christopher Rush signature. And I am far from an expert on signatures in general. I'm sure you know much more about this than I do. I don't know anything about this relationship with his agent or how it pertains to this card. I'm not sure how your relationship with e-online MTG groups is. Well, Reddit finance people don't like him. So that's why they're all eating this up. Here again, are you no longer interested in selling me the Lotus? So he's saying at this point, right? This is before he emailed me. This is before he emailed Kevin at Rogue Deck Builder or Brian at Tolarian Community College or Anthony at the Mana Source. This is before he emailed them. He's still saying he wants to buy it. I did ask for other opinions, and I'm not going to lie. They weren't the same as yours about the card. However, opinions are like assholes. So here he's even saying, right? There's a reason. Now Rudy's getting pissed. In the last hour, 10 people have commented and tagged me on Twitter with screenshots. I can't view them since I appear to be blocked and banned from these Facebook groups. I'm assuming you said something or posted something. Nothing personal, just typical emotion-driven people. Reinforcing why I don't use social media or conform to the majority of society. I'm sure you can understand my perspective, especially in your line of work. We'll get to that later. I actually plan on sending this off to be graded, basically saying, all right, fine, dude. I'm not going to argue with you. Piss off. Forget it. And now Rudy's taking all sorts of heat from these online seller groups and these Facebook groups and the Reddit hate mobs. And this guy gets enraged that Rudy didn't sell him the card anymore, right? So then he gets mad and replies, Rudy, I've taken some time to think about this, and personally, I'm in shock. The Lotus has quite the history, which I found out in great detail. I'm posting this in the Facebook group. And I would have hoped that this type of situation would have come from anyone else. I'm really hoping you were simply duped by Daniel Chang and you somehow get your money back. This Lotus isn't something I would stake my reputation on. And Daniel, as I'm sure you're aware, has a less than desirable reputation as well. So now he's trying to shame Rudy, right? And Daniel does not have a... Daniel has a great reputation. I don't understand what that even means. I have a very low tolerance for bullshit, and I'm in a particular predicament because I really like you, and I have special pieces of MTG from you, and I've always found your approach... you to be above reproach. So why are you expecting him to be any different right now, Mike? Simply saying you believe it is. Then there is much controversy surrounding the card. It isn't good enough in this instance. If you refuse, now he's threatening him, right? I'm sorry, he says. So I'll leave the ball in your court. It appears you have taken the Lotus off eBay, which is a great start. So at this point, he's demanding Rudy take a card down off eBay. But I would also like to see this thing sent to a real signature expert to verify its authenticity. Simply saying you believe it is when there is much controversy surrounding the card. By the way, that this guy is stirring up. Okay, where is this again? Sorry. Oh, yeah. Simply saying it is as much controversy around the card isn't good enough in this instance. If you refuse, then I will turn these emails over to anyone that has a big Magic the Gathering platform and let them to decide whether or not they want to make a video about this. So here, this is some of the things this is why sometimes content creators get in trouble when they get close to subscribers because they end up turning on you and going crazy like this. There's too many times for me to tell you about weird situations I've got into with subscribers. I don't make videos about it because I just cross it off to, someone's having a bad day or whatever. But again, now Rudy says, I appreciate everything in the past. You are free to do what you want with our private conversation. So by the way, Rudy's saying here, dude, don't be a dick. What the hell? Sorry do you feel that way. You need to send my messages to the public. Sorry to hear you feel scammed and shocked. I wish you and the Facebook group the best. Total pro, right? Rudy's being totally professional here. Then this guy, again, still not satisfied. I have to add, I find your reaction to this situation bizarre. Shouldn't you feel shocked to find out this Lotus has a ton of bad history? Shouldn't you feel concerned about potentially being scammed by Daniel for $6,000? It's really bizarre how you're making me out to be the bad guy here. Says the guy who's saying, I'm going to release all of your personal info, all of our conversations if you don't do what I say, right? By the way, this guy also said he planned to come to GP Vegas this year and make a scene at the Vintage Magic booth. By the way, I can't get in to run security for Vintage Magic because, of course, Channel Fireball says I'm not welcome. But this guy, just so you know, he plans on causing a scene this year at GP Vegas. Wouldn't any reasonable person ask? So again, he keeps emailing Rudy. Rudy stops replying like the smart man he is. Then he emails Kevin and Rogue Deck Builder, same things. Emails me, the same things. He has created a complaint against Rudy. He says, hi, Kevin. Attaches a forwarded conversation between Rudy and I. I've already created a complaint against Rudy on Facebook complaint center page. I don't believe Rudy will actually send this card in for grading. Again, he doesn't work for him. Based on the fact that he already knows it was suspicious, he is in contact with Daniel Chang, who also sold the card without proper authentication. There's no law against selling on authenticated signatures, dude. There is extensive history. Not really. Sorry if my thoughts are a bit erratic. Blah, blah, blah. Okay? So he emails this shit to me. And starts to... and now I will show the emails that he sent me. I didn't want to show everything in his emails that he sent to Rudy and Rudy's email out of respect for Rudy because that's what you do. But let's go. Sorry for the long video, but this is a pretty interesting case. All right, so now you can tell he's starting to get annoyed because I didn't immediately fire up a video calling Rudy a scammer and says, I just want to let you know that Rudy and Daniel have not taken any responsibility for their actions. Again, what actions? Daniel also went radio silent on me. He tried to act as though he was some innocent bystander, even though he was the one that sold the shady Lotus first. Again, there is no question on whether or not that Black Lotus is real, by the way. He's also not able to provide any provenance, but was quick to suggest his expert opinion on the flow of the signature was enough to prove legitimacy. I would say Daniel Chang is an expert. Sorry, you can't put that in quotations. That man does this for a living. He also called me ignorant when I didn't value his opinion. Well, when you ask an expert what they think and then you ignore what they say, you are being ignorant. A usual move from a con man that was caught in the act. Anyway, I thought you would keep you posted on this. Actually, I'm not sure if you're even getting these emails, but hopefully they're reaching you. I let him know that I am, in fact, monitoring the situation because, I was. And then he goes crazy. He emails here, again, trying to goat me into making a video. This is 4 days ago. Hey, Jeremy, I'm not sure what else you need to provide at this point, but I think it's painfully clear that Rudy screwed the pooch on this. I've gotten the ball rolling, and I'm hoping you can carry this home before GP Vegas. There is no reason for this guy to not be held to account. I reply back, I'm not sure what to speak on in the video. There's no real evidence it's fake, and the card is being graded. I suppose I would wait to hear on that. He says, Jeremy, you've been caught. Sends me an imager. I reply back saying, ha ha ha, caught doing what? What did he catch me doing? What do you think he caught me doing, folks? What do you think? What do you think he caught me doing? Well, he caught me saying on MTG Lions video that he put out without asking for information, I said, I have spoken to him directly, Rudy. It is, of course, real, and it is being graded. That is the truth. I then tweeted this out. When you're trying to debunk people talking shit about one of the most trustworthy people in this space, it's hard when they have you shadow banned. Showing that MTG Lion had me shadow banned on his channel, and I could not comment. People weren't seeing my comment. To which, in Lion's defense, he replied back and said that he removed the shadow ban, and it appears he did. Okay? Then he goes on to say, you said it's, of course, real and being graded, which isn't true at the time. Yes, it was. I had done my research, unlike him, apparently. When you try to debunk people talking shit, you are trying to play me for a fool, and I'm done playing with you. I wrote back, I've spoken to Rudy long before you ever emailed. I vet all my sources. I know these people directly, so I called them directly. I investigated your claim. He's not mad that I shared my findings. He's mad that I didn't immediately agree with him and put Rudy on blast publicly to try and smear his business. Jeremy, this is boring. You didn't vet me. You didn't investigate my claim. You listened to Rudy's story and you ran with it. That's fine. I'm glad I know who you are now. You don't think I investigated you, Mike. You don't think I know who you are. Do you, Mike? You don't think that I know that this is your website where you write about MLMs. It's almost like you're obsessed with conspiracies. Right? You refer to yourself as a doctor, by the way. Okay? And you don't think I know that you are a $100 patron of Rudy and you had to back off when you had some financial trouble, which is totally acceptable. You don't think I know that Rudy has bought cards from you. When you needed him, when you needed Rudy to bail you out because you needed money, he bought your shit from you. Right? Here you are at GP Vegas.
Yep. This is Mike. He's one of my longest original $100 patrons, and we're buying a card from him. He has an original, unlimited, authentic, pretty nice, unplayed, clean surface. We're gonna buy it from him. 1100. You're not gonna willing to go lower?
I think so. I think you got it.
All right.
All right, let's count them floppy tacos.
Thank you for the business, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for the card. Appreciate it.
There
Very
we
good job,
go.
Mike, thank you for everything, man. Absolutely. You've been with me for a long time, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
I appreciate you. Keep up the good videos.
Thank you, man.
Oops, Mike. Yeah, I was there. I know who you are. I know everything about your interaction with the MTG community. I know that you talked to Brian because Brian talked to us. I know everything. So when you say, Jeremy, I'm not referring to the video. I'm referring to the comments you made about, comments from you about me. You don't know me. You never called me. No, I didn't need to call you. That's the thing. You never cared about my claims. Oh, well, it would appear that I did, Michael. You never investigated my side of this by actually communicating directly with me. What the fuck are all these emails? Okay? No. This guy is delusional. If there was ever any investigative work done by you, it was the most one-sided, awful job in the history of investigations. I do know what you did because you didn't do anything. Pathetic. To which I replied, I guess you're going to get a video after all. You can make any video with any disinformation you want. Well, I guess those watching will have to be the judge of whether or not it's information or disinformation. I feel like I've been very transparent, showing everyone the exact information. And again, the signature is a variant, right? That's fine. Don't buy the card. I mean, it's that simple. There are many people who say that the signature looks real to them, but none of it even matters because we've already proven that the signature on the card is to fake it is pointless. You can make a video. If this is some sort of threat to dox me, what do you mean? You willingly put yourself on video. You even said sent an email that you were disappointed that the video didn't get uploaded to YouTube. Gee, I wonder why. Hopefully, the couple of extra dollars you make from this video go towards something productive in the MTG community. The community deserves better than this. So take off the tinfoil hat. I'm seeing clearer than ever before, and this is so much sadder than I could have ever anticipated. I asked, what exactly do you want me to do? Put out a video? Why? When I can call the guy directly and confirm or deny it. Again, this is me not interacting. This is me not caring, right? I work 100 hours a week, and I'm taking the time to email. I call, reach out to Daniel, reach out to Rudy, read all the Facebook threads he sent me, read all the stuff from his former agent. No, this is me not having zero fucks to give, right? Thank you for confirming you only cared about one side of the story. Right. This is, again, me showing that, right? I came to you because I respected your willingness to make tough videos that challenge difficult subjects. I thought you would have actually taken the time to research this. I was wrong. Now, what he's saying here is, I'm sad you didn't just listen and believe and put out this video and smear the man and his credibility and smear Daniel Chang and his credibility. Right? That's what he's mad about. He's actually, what he's really mad about is that I did the research and that I didn't just react to a single series of screenshots. I took the time to learn about the market with the signatures. I took the time to learn the history of that card, where it came from, that it's an authentic card. I had several conversations with people about this. Tens of emails back and forth with you, Mike. One, you have no idea. I have no idea if you actually read my emails. Well, I'm reading them now. And you were never replying until I asked if they were getting to you. To act as though you've been an active participant is insane. I don't know what all these emails are, but this is just me toilet emailing, right? You showed you don't care when you said that you would debunk my shit talking, which is something you can't do. I believe I did pretty well. And that tweet wasn't about you. That was about MTG Lying putting out an irresponsible video about another content creator that he could have very easily reached out to directly. It wasn't about your claims about the signature. I agree the signature is not crystal clear. What I'm saying is I don't believe it to be fake, mostly because there's no incentive to fake it. I don't want you to do anything. I don't care about you doing anything. And anything from you from this point forward means nothing. Well, I suppose this video will mean nothing. And I'm okay with that because I thought this is a really interesting tale. A little look into what sometimes content creators have to deal with. This guy called himself a fan and from all signs is a fan, and yet he's out there on a crusade to smear Rudy for something that he has nothing to do with. Look, if you don't think the signature is legit, don't buy the card. Don't go on a crusade emailing every major content creator out there, posting personal emails to Reddit, and spinning up this conspiracy theory that when absolutely no motivation exists, somehow Rudy, in my opinion, ruined a Black Lotus by putting his signature on it. You have to think, dude. I'm sorry that I did my side of it. I investigated. I found your claims to be spurious. I found your claims to lack real evidence. And because there is no video of the card being signed, sure, but you could say this about literally any signature out there. There are many variant signatures out there from people like Mickey Mantle, Babe Ruth, especially earlier in their career, which is when this was signed, right? Artists sign stuff not with the intent of you being able to sell it. They sign it because you asked them to sign it. So maybe he wasn't being super careful. It doesn't even matter. You have the power to not buy it. And you also going and reporting the listing to eBay, attacking his business, attacking his credibility, posting that shit. Fuck you, Mike. That is not cool. And I believe you owe Rudy a very public apology.